Today on the Conscious Commerce podcast, I am joined by Robyn McLean, the co-founder of HelloCup. Hi, Robyn. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Here in Auckland, we're in a level 3 lockdown, which has meant a bit of a change to the recording studio in my spare room, but here we are.
I feel for you guys. Yep.
You're in the level 2 lockdown, right?
We're in level 2, but we're with you.
It's solidarity, yeah.
Yeah.
So NOISSUE's community is spread out across the globe, but you happen to be where I'm from and where NOISSUE HQ is, which is New Zealand. So tell us a bit about the corner of the world you're from and what's great about it.
Well, the HelloCup is based in 2 parts of New Zealand, so in Hawke's Bay and also in Wellington. We do our dispatch from Wellington. And we feel very lucky to be based in New Zealand. It seems like sometimes we feel like we're so far away from everyone else, but in recent times that's been, relatively beneficial for us in terms of COVID. We've been able to close off our borders relatively easily and really manage it. And from a business perspective, being in New Zealand has actually been really beneficial for us over the last year.
Yeah, it's almost an advantage to be so isolated right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it throws up challenges in terms of things like shipping and logistics, getting products further afield. But in terms of safety and being able to operate relatively normally, we're very blessed.
Yeah, definitely. And let's get to know you a little bit better as a person. So from what I've seen of the HelloCup brand, it seems like the people behind it are a bit of a character. So what's an unexpected fun fact about you, or what's your party trick?
My party trick. Oh God, honestly, I feel like I'm so old that I haven't been to a party for so long. But when I was younger, I used to be my party trick was, and it sounds quite horrific, and I'm sure it's very bad for you, but my party trick used to be freaking people out by turning my eyelids inside out.
My brother can do that, actually. I can contest.
Really
That's very creepy to see in person.
Oh, it's so creepy. But it was definitely my go-to icebreaker.
And tell me about your career journey and what you were doing prior to HelloCup. Can you share an experience that shaped you and sent you in the direction of this industry?
I think so I used to be a journalist, and the keystone to being a good journalist is to be able to break things down and deliver your message or the story in really simple terms. So, you aim. One of the things we were often told was, you want to aim your story at a level that a 9-year-old would understand. And so I've always loved words and marketing, and I worked mainly in print journalism, and how that has shaped the HelloCup is when we started HelloCup, the other brands that were already in existence didn't really appeal to me, and the way they got their message across about the benefits and the amazingness of menstrual cups was that it was pitched wrong. So I guess I could use my skills as a writer and a communicator to make it more fun and simpler. And we didn't really we started just going, well, what would appeal to us? And I think sometimes businesses forget to actually make it that simple. You can really overcomplicate your messaging, and for us, we just wanted to reach as many people as possible and get them going, what is this? How does it work? Yeah.
Yeah. Because with some of the other brands on the market, were they taking a bit of a medical or serious approach to the language and the branding?
Yeah, they were, or maybe an overly eco approach. So kind of forgetting that if you break it all down, they're just one of our taglines is bloody brilliant, and that's kind of what they well, it is what they are. They are bloody brilliant, and so yes, they're good for the planet, and yes, they save this many single use products from going into landfill and all that sort of stuff. That's really great messaging to put around your story once you've got the basics across, which is, they're easier, they're comfortable, and they're cute. Like our cups, we wanted our cups, and it sounds silly, but um, if you want, if you're buying something for yourself, it really does need to appeal. Like it might be, um, you know, it's like clothing. You want something that looks good, but you also want the knowledge that that clothing is made ethically and all that sort of stuff. But your first starting point to get people over the line is they have to want to use it.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
And when you started developing that idea for Hello Cup, talk to me about where your head was at and how much did the direction for the business grow and change in that initial period?
Well, we started. So Mary and I have been best friends since we were at school, and so um, the idea, I tried a menstrual cup, and I was like, oh my god, this is just so amazing. But I wanted one that was actually made in New Zealand because I'm a very loyal shopper to buy local if possible, but also I have a real faith in things that are made in places that I know of and that have genuine traceability. So, what I found when I first tried menstrual cups was that um, one, the shapes didn't all suit me, and also some would say that they were medical grade, and they clearly weren't because when they arrived, they smelt like chemicals, and um, there was some mystery around some of the products on the market. So I said to Mary, "Look, this is great, but there's no one making these in New Zealand. I don't feel like I've found the perfect design. Why don't we um, do this as even just a side hustle, really? Just I was working in marketing, and Mary was and always has been a registered nurse, and uh, so we just thought we'd start it. We'd design something that was comfortable for us. We've both got teenage daughters, so they were kind of in the forefront of our minds as well, giving them a better period choice in the future. Um, so, so in terms of kind of how we got going and our thought process, it was very oh god, fluid's probably the wrong word, but that's kind of what it was. It was uh, let's let's take our idea, roll with it. Let's not overthink it. We worked out that we could put the money in ourselves. Um, not We didn't do any huge forecasting or really think where the cups might end up in terms of retail space. We just assumed that our market was probably like-minded New Zealanders, and that we would be sending direct to consumer. Um, but we very quickly had to learn that uh, a good idea is actually a good idea. And what we found was that Hello Cups took off literally sort of overnight, and people had been waiting for, we had no idea, but really people had been waiting for someone to bring out a menstrual cup that was thoughtfully designed by women, um, designed with comfort in mind, just all these things that we're just going, oh, well, as a consumer, this is what I want, this, and this. And who knew?
Yeah, and what a perfect marriage between the two of you, you and Mary, to have a nursing background and a media journalism background to come together on that one brand.
Yeah, totally. And funnily enough, people were like, oh, you're best friends, don't go into business together. So that was kind of one of the main things that people said to, oh God, avoid that. It's gonna end in tears. And touch wood, 3 years in, it's been amazing. And we don't live in the same cities. Maybe that kind of helps. We've got our own space, and we get together. We speak on the phone, on FaceTime, several times a day. Sometimes it's to do with work. Sometimes it's to do with, Mary's new kitten or whatever. So we've still got our friendship is still there and completely intact, which is probably, I don't know, quite rare.
And how many hats did you have to wear initially, you and Mary, to get the business off the ground? What kind of skills did you pick up along the way you didn't expect?
Hilarious, because we wore all the hats, and plus neither of us having any background in business. So we were learning as we went, and again, gut instinct just was at the forefront of everything we did. We'd send our cups were beautifully packaged because that's what we'd like to receive. So it always came back to what would we want if we were buying something. But initially, so I stuck to the sort of the wording and the writing copy for the website, and Mary had at her kitchen table at home was packing the orders and sending them, and setting up things like a label printer, which we had no idea what to get, what to buy, and sourcing all the things that we needed to send our boxes out in, and we had to Google, how do you register a company? We were that was how it literally started. Google was our friend with everything. How do you register a company? How do you save money on postage? How do you do this?
And you mentioned earlier that that Hello Cup became almost like an overnight success when people heard about it. So at what point did you think we're onto something good here, or I think I've found my true sense of purpose in this business?
I think it was pretty instant, because I said to Mary, and she takes the piss out of me now, but I said to her, it'd be great if we just sold 5 a week, and we assumed that we would both keep going with our other jobs, and that this would just take up a few hours of our time. And I think probably within the first, month, definitely, we were like, okay, well, we're not going to have time for our other work anymore. Mary does still do some shift work, nursing shift work, because she loves it, but I completely stopped all the other work I was doing. And I think the orders just started rolling in. The conversation started quite early on. 7 Sharp, a New Zealand current affairs show, did a piece on us, and that our website literally crashed after they did that show. And I think then it was really just word of mouth, and we got a cold call email from Urban Outfitters probably about a year, asking if they could stock us. And it was a real eye-opener, because for us, we then realised that our business reach was global, and we'd never really, we haven't got massive budgets, but we've got a really great product, and so word was out.
Mm. And you talked about the bloody brilliant language earlier, which I love. Another one that I really like is the vagina switcheroo on your website. Could you talk a bit about where the idea for that came from and how you're flipping the whole chat around periods on its head? Because I know all the women out there would know that periods aren't talked about that much in society. It's all very hush hush and kind of labeled women's business. So how do you have fun with that?
Yeah, I think, again, early on, because Mary was a nurse, she was very much, you call it a vagina, it's a vagina. And I was very much like, oh my God, no, I never really, like, I think because I'd been a journalist, I was always playing with words. And so for me, I was always like the JJ, foo foo. And vagina to me always sounded really harsh. So it was the one thing at the start. I was like, I cannot build a website with that word throughout the text. I just, it's not my word. And so we thought about words, and then I said, let's have a compromise, because I know I'm not the only one who has a friendly term for their vagina. Like, I just, it's my friend, and vagina just sounded too proper. Um, so I said, let's have that option on our website, and so you can put in your name, that the name that you call your vagina, and it will change the text throughout the website. So if you call it foo foo, then when you're reading about how to insert your cup, it will say, insert your cup into your foo foo rather than vagina. So it breaks the ice a bit, and again, kind of reflects it. Let's. One of the aims was to get people talking about periods, and sometimes to do that, you need to be able to break the ice and not kind of just be really, I don't know, straight up. So our taglines, bloody brilliant, no strings attached is another tagline, play on not having any tampon strings hanging out your vag. Just giving people a bit of a giggle and like going, oh, okay, we can have this conversation, but it doesn't need to be overly, serious.
What was
Just having the conversation is important.
what was the best switcheroo you'd heard of from a
Oh
customer?
God, some of them I couldn't even repeat. We do see what people enter. We don't see who's entered it. God, what's one that I can repeat? Oh gosh, of course I can only think of the really rude ones. You're putting me on the spot.
That's okay. No worries. Maybe it will pop into your head later in the conversation. We can circle back.
Yeah, I mean things like Pink Panther and Lady Garden, but there was one that just had a reference to Donald Trump, which was just not nice. We won't go there.
We won't go there. But you're impressed by their creativity. That's coming through. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing, and it's really cool to see people trying to come up with different terms.
Yeah. And from the beginning, what were your non-negotiables in terms of the values that informed Hello Cup and the brand it was going to be?
Non-negotiables were treating customers with kindness, to do the best we could in terms of packaging, customer service, our staff. And well, initially we didn't have staff, but once they came on board, and so in terms of from a staffing point of view, we wanted Hello Cup to be a place where people really wanted to work. So if we put trust in our staff, then we get back that kind of X factor from them. And we are a small business, and we need to, money's really tight, but we that doesn't mean that we can't value our staff and treat them really well. And we implemented something called a duvet day, which basically, I don't know, duvet, is that Australian New Zealand term? But
I
what do
think
you
it
call
is. Is it a doona in
it?
the
A
USA?
doona? I don't know, but it's
I
a
can drop it. I can drop a translation in for our
yeah,
global
yeah.
listeners. Quick sidebar for our international listeners. A duvet is also called a comforter in the US or a doona if you're in Australia.
Essentially, so staff can call us and just say, I'm having a duvet day, which is essentially a day where they are just having time out for themselves. It's no, they don't have to ring up and fake, I've got a headache or, whatever. It's just like, actually, I'm staying in bed today and watching Netflix. See ya. And just little things that we can do to show our appreciation for the work they do. And yeah, so kind of that thread, I guess, of kindness and inclusivity, and not putting profit first, putting people first is how we couldn't run. Mary and I could not run a business that was a cutthroat, we're in this to just sell, and we don't care about the little people, and we don't care about the planet. It just wouldn't it we just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I remember a company a friend worked at. One of the execs got up and said that everyone is always replaceable, and I think that's
Oh
just such a
God.
terrible perspective
Oh
to have on it, but very, like big corporate kind of mentality. So it's great
yeah.
to hear how you value your staff and how you give them those incentives and those mental health days, basically, right? Is what a
Yeah.
duvet
Yeah.
is, and
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Totally. But it's a mental health day without the onus of them having to say that I'm not. They just know there's no commentary around it.
And brands like Hello Cup, but also Allbirds, Patagonia, and even us at No Issue show that to influence human behavior, you can't just be the sustainable option. You have to be the best option in every way, which includes the quality and the design and the convenience factors. So, how have you seen people's behavior be changed and looking at sustainability differently after they interact with your brand?
Yeah, I think people. I think people do take a look at the product and then think, okay, well, I'm making this change in my period life, but also this company has come out and they've sent me a box that we designed our box to be really cute. It's a paper tube box and it's really beautiful on the inside. And so what we wanted was that people would open it and go, I don't want to throw this out. I want to reuse it for something else. So while it's fully recyclable, we see photos of people using it to hold their pencils and or makeup brushes and things like that. So that I think what we wanted was for people to think, okay, this company cares. This company, and we use No Issue for our stickers and. Everything is thought about. So when they open their compostable bag, it from the tissue paper, that we also use your tissue paper, and it's just beautiful, but it's not coming at a cost for the planet or and we know our suppliers, so it's not coming at a cost for someone making it and not getting paid properly, things like that. It is really, really important.
Yeah, and I think customers really appreciate when they see the effort you've gone into to every little thoughtful detail, right? Like that
Mm,
unboxing experience becomes
yeah,
very special.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a fine line. You want to make it special and not produce waste at the same time. So you've got to make it gorgeous, so gorgeous that they think, oh, I love this. I'm going to reuse it in whatever way possible or keep it. for just to look at, because I appreciate the beauty.
Yeah. And talking about being from down under, from New Zealand, how much of your customer base is global versus local, and how do you choose to portray yourself in terms of that New Zealand backstory?
Yeah. Again, we assumed our customer would be New Zealand, and then we got this interest from the US. So our main customer, most of our customers come from New Zealand, Australia, and the US. And the challenge is actually, well, we're lucky that there's not really a major language difference. But there are some spelling differences between New Zealand and the US, and we kind of have to stay true to our language in most instances, and just hope that people know that we're not spelling a word incorrectly. It's actually, we just spell it differently down under. So, an obvious one is colour, and we have a U in colour at the end before the R, and there's no U in the US spelling of colour. But one funny difference that we've found is that we say fannytastic as a hashtag. Hello Cups are fannytastic. So fanny in New Zealand and Australia is a colloquial fun term for your vagina. In the US, it means bum, and and so we kind of like go, oh my God, do they think that we're insane over there when we use that hashtag? It's probably lost in translation for our USA followers and fans. So if anyone's listening, hopefully that will explain our craziness, and we're not referring to bottoms.
But I'm sure that hasn't deterred your US customers. They seem to still love the brand. So
we're now on Amazon, and so that allows us to be able to fulfill orders to customers who it was completely cost prohibitive for us to send orders from New Zealand to. So, there are some places where the cost of postage outweighs and more outweighs the product, where we're just taking a huge loss on sending orders to certain countries. So being on Amazon allows us to have a wider reach.
And what does that mean in terms of competition for Hello Cup? Because suddenly challenges can be from all around the world, not just New Zealand. So how have you managed that?
Maybe this is a little bit anti-business of us. I think we have to rely on having a product that's exceptional, and that in itself will help our reputation, and the reviews are genuine. And so the word of mouth aspect of our business is really, really important, because what's frustrating for people who try a menstrual cup and it doesn't work is that they then go, oh no, they don't work as a blanket, they don't work in general. And like everything in life, there are cheap versions that don't necessarily last or work or aren't made of quality materials, and then there are more expensive versions, and ours definitely isn't the cheapest, but there's a reason. Again, you often find that you buy a piece of furniture that's $20, it breaks. So it's kind of instilling that, do your research, buy ethically, buy consciously, and think about how long a quality product will last over something that is essentially designed to be single use.
And I just wanted to share some facts about waste in the menstrual care industry, because some people out there might not know just how huge it is. But 45 billion single-use tampons or sanitary pads every year are thrown away globally, which is about 3.2 million kgs of waste. So with Hello Cup, if someone's purchased one, they're built to last. How long, if someone's taking care of it, how long does it last them?
So a single Hello Cup, we say, will last 5 years. And some people choose to replace them sooner, some people will use them for longer. But essentially, if you're comparing a cup that lasts for 5 years to the average use of tampons per month, it's one cup is comparable to about 2,000, just over 2,000 tampons. So in terms of being able to make a difference to waste on the planet, as an individual swap out, a menstrual cup can have a huge impact. So over your lifetime, you'll only need, say, eight menstrual cups. If you were using a menstrual cup from the start of when you first got your period, compared to, thousands and thousands and thousands of single-use products that even organic tampons and pads do take quite a while to break down in landfill. So, there's this, we think, they appear to be made from cotton, and cotton's a natural fibre and it will just disintegrate in landfill. Well, it doesn't, and the ones that aren't organic contain microplastics. And so the first tampon ever used is still on our planet.
Still hasn't fully broken down.
No.
Wow.
So the non-organic ones will take around 500 to 800 years. And then you sort of start doing the maths, and I'm not very good at maths, but I can tell you that the answer is mind-blowing. When you consider that half the world's population will have a period, and then you go from there thinking about the products that they go through, like, it is crazy.
It's incredible, isn't it? Because you think maybe if it was on the fine print of the box somewhere, people would be horrified and they'd steer away from that, but people don't know those sort of figures. 500 to 800 years is crazy.
People don't know those figures. People don't know. There's no regulations. There is a movement to force companies to declare what's in tampons and pads on their packaging, but there's no requirement to list what they're made from. So the awareness around the fact that there's microplastics is virtually nil.
Yeah, sustainability's meaning does sometimes get confused. So at No Issue, we say that its true meaning is the ability to exist indefinitely. Because if we go back to the beginning, it comes from the Latin word sustenere, which means to support, maintain, or endure over time. So yeah, that long-term perspective hasn't been there in the menstrual care industry until now with these menstrual cups. How long-term are you thinking with your business goals and the change you want to see with Hello Cup?
Well, for us, I guess our goal as a business would be for menstrual cups to be fully mainstreamed, whether it's Hello Cups or, it's just as a product that people use, that they're fully mainstreamed, that we also offer washable liners. So, again, panty liners are a massive waste product that, that they are marketed as something that you use, you chuck out. It doesn't need to be that wasteful. You can use something that is washable and save yourself and the planet so much. So, yeah, our goal, I always said our overall goal would be for tampons not to exist in the future. We appreciate that there always will need to be an external period care option. So whether that's period underwear or washable pads, that they're needed too. So people have choice. We will never say to someone, you must use a menstrual cup, because sometimes we see sustainable products being pushed too much. There's too much weight put on them around the it will save you money if you don't have much money kind of scenario. Well, we don't think that that is fair when it comes to period products, because it's such a personal thing, having a period, and how you manage it really needs to be up to you. But to allow people to access reusables is really important. So a case in point is that in New Zealand, recently our Prime Minister announced that the government will be providing period products to all school children for free. Amazing. It's so amazing, and it is, it's a sort of a bit of a tearjerker moment for those of us in the industry, because we know that they're expensive. We know that tampons and pads are expensive, and we also appreciate that menstrual cups are expensive, and managing your period when it's something that happens to you naturally shouldn't be expensive, because some people just aren't able to look after that cost themselves. So knowing, and we know around the world, not just in New Zealand, that school-aged children who have a period often do not turn up to school because they cannot afford the products needed to manage it at school. So they just stay at home and use toilet paper. But there's always a but. What we would really like to see, because that these are our future generations, what we'd really like to see with these kids is, with this program, is to see reusable period care options in the mix as well. So, again, that they have the choice. But because sustainability is our goal as a planet going forward, thinking about what we're producing and making products that are better, we think that, one menstrual cup, if you provide a school child with a menstrual cup, it will last their entire secondary schooling. It's one thing. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, it's a bigger investment at the start, but
Yeah,
it actually does last a lot longer.
totally. It saves so much.
What would be your advice for other people who want to start a purposeful business but have no idea where to start or how to scale that idea?
I think when you're researching, just take your time to work out what you need and who is making products that tick the boxes that you require, in terms of, can they answer all the questions you have about, how does this break down? When people say it's recyclable, is it really recyclable, or is it, number 9 in the recycle chain, which sort of means that it's kind of recyclable but not really? And when they say it's compostable, is it compostable in your home compost, or is it compostable in a commercial situation? And if it's a commercial situation, then how does that work? Just find the answers to the natural questions that pop up in your head. But I also think the key to starting a sustainable business is to follow your heart and just do it. Just start. If you're able to just start small and work your way. You don't need to open your business and be selling huge volumes. If you're able to set up a website and continue with your current job and just test the waters, and teach yourself.
Yeah, because the side hustle, it's almost testing if it's commercially viable, right? If there's enough to get it going.
Yeah.
And my final question for you today: how do you define success in your business at Hello Cup, but also for yourself personally?
I think success is having people who write to us and say, "You've changed my life." And that happened really early on, as soon as we started. And I remember Mary calling me, and she was crying, and she was just like so overwhelmed that we'd started this business and that people were writing those things to us, and that this idea was, it was completely validated, even if we'd changed one person's life, because we'd both had really heavy periods at school and struggled to manage them. And then, to come up with a solution that we would have liked to have had ourselves when we were younger, and then for people to go, look, finally I can swim without worrying, and I can go horse riding, or I can go on a horse trek for 8 hours, and not have to leave a tampon behind in a bush and all that sort of stuff. It was just so, success is measured completely for us on customer feedback and, I guess, staff satisfaction.
The impact you're having on people's lives. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Robyn. It's been great chatting.